Carl Jung explained, 13 signs your aura is too powerful for most people to handle. As Carl Jung once said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. If you've ever walked into a room and felt like your presence changed the atmosphere even without saying a word, this video is for you. On Spiritual Wisdom, we're diving deep into 13 powerful signs your aura may be too intense for most people to handle. These aren't just spiritual insights. They're reflections of your growth, authenticity, and energetic truth. So, as you listen, ask yourself, have you been mistaken for being too much, when in fact, you're just deeply aligned? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. Let's awaken together. 1. A powerful aura reflects inner integration and authenticity. Your aura is not mystical fluff. It's the energetic signature of your inner psychological wholeness. Carl Jung saw the human psyche as multi-layered, composed of the conscious mind, the personal unconscious, where the shadow resides, and the vast field of the collective unconscious. When you do the deep work of integrating your shadow, confronting your repressed emotions, denied aspects of self, and past pain, your inner world becomes more aligned. And as that alignment takes root, it expresses itself outwardly in your energy. That's what gives rise to a powerful aura, not something you perform, but something you become. Most people wear social masks, what Jung called the persona, to navigate daily life and avoid rejection. But when you shed those layers and choose authenticity, you disrupt the energetic norm. Your aura becomes charged with truth. And truth, while liberating, is also unsettling, especially for those who still rely on roles and facades. You stop blending in. You become a mirror. Without saying a word, your presence reflects the gaps in others' self-awareness, and not everyone is ready to face that. That's why some people withdraw, project, or even feel threatened around you, not because you're too much, but because your wholeness makes them feel incomplete. A powerful aura isn't about charisma or charm. It's the stillness in you that doesn't flinch, the clarity that doesn't seek validation, and the strength that doesn't beg for connection. People feel that. They feel when someone walks in the room who is not pretending. They feel when your energy has weight, not heaviness, but depth. It's why some admire you silently, while others avoid you completely. Your energy speaks before you do. And for those who hide behind filters, your presence is too raw, too clear, too real. This kind of aura is not aggressive. It doesn't dominate. It reveals. And revelation can be terrifying for those who aren't ready to meet their own shadow. But for others, your presence is a spark, a call to remember who they truly are. That's why people either pull away or are magnetized toward you. Your energy is a threshold. It invites transformation, but only the brave will walk through it. So when your aura causes a reaction, don't question your energy, trust it. You're not being too intense. You're simply embodying a level of authenticity that demands others rise to meet it or fall back into their comfort zones. Your presence isn't too much. It's just rare. And in a world full of noise, that kind of quiet power stands out. Have you ever felt that your energy unsettles others even when you're just being yourself? Comment below. My energy speaks truth. To honor your light and inspire others to stand confidently in their own power. 2. Your presence acts as a mirror. When your aura is powerful, it doesn't just light up a space, it quietly reveals the emotional truths others are trying to hide. You don't even have to speak. Your presence alone becomes a silent mirror, reflecting the inner unrest in those around you. It's not your behavior that unsettles them, it's your alignment. People often project discomfort onto you, not because you've done something wrong, but because your energy unmasks their disconnection from self. This is the sacred tension between your authenticity and their avoidance. Carl Jung understood this dynamic long before energy was mainstream. His concept of the shadow, those repressed, denied, or unconscious aspects of the self, explains why people react strangely to those who live in truth. Your aura, radiant and honest, doesn't judge, but it reveals. And what it reveals is often the very thing others are not ready to see. They feel exposed, vulnerable, even defensive in your presence. That's not your fault. That's your frequency. You may have noticed how people shrink, gossip, or retreat from you without cause. It's not personal, it's energetic. You serve as a walking wake-up call, reminding others of the parts of themselves they've buried. That makes you magnetic to truth seekers and triggering to the unhealed. It's a heavy yet holy path. You carry light, but you also carry contrast. Because when you show up fully, it shows others where they are absent. When you speak the truth, it reveals where others have lied to themselves. When you choose peace, it exposes their chaos. This is why people might say you're too much when you're simply whole, why you might be called intense when you're just present. You don't dilute your essence, and that alone challenges those who depend on masks. Your integrity interrupts their illusions. Your clarity confronts their confusion, and your groundedness exposes their emotional instability. Jung would say, you aren't dangerous. They're simply afraid of being seen, even if only energetically. Picture someone who's done the inner work. They enter a room without trying to impress, compete, or dominate. Yet their energy turns heads. Not because they're loud, but because they're aligned. That's what you are, a reflection of what's possible when someone dares to integrate the light and the shadow. But not everyone is ready for that reflection. Some will avoid you, others will challenge you, and a rare few will awaken because of you. Your presence becomes prophecy. It stirs discomfort, not to shame, but to call forth truth. When others walk away, it's not rejection, it's revelation. You weren't sent to fit in. You were sent to shift frequencies. The more you live in alignment, the more your aura will reveal not just your power, but their potential. And that's why you must not shrink. Your light is not a luxury. It's a divine disruption. If you believe and are ready to receive it, repeat after me. I am receiving this message from God. It is for me today. I trust it completely. And if this resonates, let us know in the comments your energy is needed in this world, now more than ever. 3. You trigger psychological projections. When your aura is clear, grounded, and powerful, you don't just walk into a room, you shift the energy of it. And that shift makes people feel things they didn't expect to feel. According to Carl Jung, when someone hasn't fully dealt with their own inner shadows, their insecurities, regrets, or hidden desires, they unconsciously project those emotions onto others. So when you enter with calm confidence and authentic energy, you become a mirror. Suddenly, they're not reacting to you as a person. They're reacting to what you reflect back to them. Everything they haven't yet faced within themselves. This is why people might envy you, admire you, or even dislike you without ever truly knowing you. your energy becomes a trigger. It wakes something up in their psyche, something they've kept buried for years. That's not arrogance or ego, it's resonance. Your presence carries a frequency that either calls someone higher or causes them to retreat into fear. And here's the truth. The more spiritually aligned you are, the more powerful your aura becomes. You're no longer matching other people's energy. You're holding your own, and that alone shifts dynamics. You may notice how certain people avoid you or look uncomfortable in your presence, even when you're being kind. Others might be drawn to you like a magnet, feeling safe and seen without knowing why. All of this is projection in action. Jung once said, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves." But the reverse is also true. Everything that triggers people about you can also guide them to face their own truth if they're willing. Your aura becomes a revealer. It disrupts masks and pretenses. It shines a light into places people usually keep dark, and that can feel threatening. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing something rare, being fully yourself. And in a world where most people are hiding behind roles and expectations, that authenticity becomes revolutionary. So if you've ever felt misunderstood, isolated, or even resented for no clear reason, understand this. It's not a flaw. It's confirmation. You are walking proof that clarity, wholeness, and self-possession are possible. Let them project. Let them feel what they feel. You're not here to be who others expect. You're here to awaken what they forgot. And in doing so, you're living proof of inner mastery. Leave your like and subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to not miss any valuable content like this and continue manifesting abundance and prosperity in your life. Type in the comments, "I deserve to live a financially prosperous life." 4. Emotional reactions from strangers reflect your energy field. One of the most powerful signs that your aura is too much for some people to handle is the way strangers emotionally react around you. Some may suddenly open up, telling you secrets they haven't told anyone, while others may become unexpectedly agitated, irritated, or even defensive. This has less to do with your words and more to do with your vibration. Your energy, much like a tuning fork, resonates with the emotional frequency of those around you, often shaking loose what they've tried to suppress. Whether it's a deeply buried insecurity, unresolved trauma, or feelings of inferiority, your very presence activates what's hidden. Jung called this phenomenon projection, when a person unconsciously transfers their own inner material onto another. In this case, you. Your energy field stirs the unconscious because it vibrates at a higher frequency. You're authentic, aligned, and living in deep truth. And that can be unsettling for those who have not yet done the same internal work. Think of it this way. People aren't reacting to you. They're reacting to the parts of themselves they see more clearly when you're around. The clarity of your energy reveals the fog in theirs. Some will appreciate this illumination, while others will resist it with discomfort or even hostility. It's important to understand that you don't need to tone yourself down to make others comfortable. Instead, stand firm in your truth, knowing that your aura is a gift, not a burden. Your presence alone brings unconscious material to the surface, and while that may make relationships more complex, it also makes them more real. You're not here to play small. You're here to help raise the frequency of the collective, even if that means being misunderstood by those still operating in survival mode. As Jung noted, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. So if you've noticed people having intense emotional reactions around you, for better or worse, know that it's not your fault. It's your energetic signature doing its work. This is one of the clearest signs that your aura holds great power, and not everyone is equipped to handle that level of energetic truth. Type in the comments, "I embrace my powerful energy and the light I bring into this world." Leave your like and subscribe to our channel Spiritual Wisdom, and activate the notification bell so you never miss content that helps you align, awaken, and thrive. 5. You're often labeled too intense or different. Because you operate at a deeper emotional and spiritual frequency, others often don't know how to handle your presence. They label you as too intense, too much, or different, not because you've done anything wrong, but because your energy disrupts the norm. In a world that rewards surface-level comfort and conformity, someone like you, who refuses to shrink or dilute their essence, becomes a silent challenge to everything artificial. You don't play small to make others feel big. You don't water yourself down to become digestible. And that terrifies people who haven't yet met themselves fully. Your aura speaks volumes before you say a word. Carl Jung believed that the psyche is more than what we consciously know. It's a complex field of influences, instincts, and truths we often suppress. When your energy field is strong and aligned, it becomes a mirror, one that reflects what others are trying to avoid. People who haven't dealt with their own shadows may find your authenticity unsettling, because your presence silently calls them to level up, to look within, and to face the very parts of themselves they've spent years running from. That's why you're not for everyone, and that's okay. You weren't born to fit in. You were born to shine in ways that awaken. There's a woman named Aaliyah who shared her story about constantly being misunderstood at work. She was always calm, composed, and didn't engage in gossip or people-pleasing. Yet, people said she had an intimidating vibe. It wasn't arrogance, it was clarity. She had nothing to prove and no interest in emotional games. When she walked into a room, things shifted not because she demanded attention, but because she carried truth. That's the power of aura. It isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's the quiet confidence that unsettles people the most. You may find that people project their fears onto you. They say you're arrogant when you're confident, cold when you're simply focused, detached when you're just protecting your peace. But know this: when your spirit is whole, when your light doesn't flicker based on who's watching, your energy becomes magnetic to some and repellent to others. That polarity is not a curse. It's confirmation that you are walking in your truth. Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." Your refusal to abandon your depth is the exact thing that makes your journey sacred. So the next time someone calls you too much, smile gently. Let it be a reminder that you're not here to make people comfortable. You're here to be a portal of change, a presence that cannot be ignored. You are intense because your soul is awake. You are different because you've chosen truth over trends. You are powerful because you've learned not to fear your light. And that, dear one, is exactly what this world needs more of. If you felt seen in this message, leave a comment and share your truth. type below, "I honor the power of my aura." Let's keep this sacred conversation going. 6. You shift the energy in a room just by entering. Your aura doesn't need words to make an entrance. The moment you step into a room, something shifts. Conversations pause, eyes glance your way, and without explanation, the atmosphere begins to change. It's not about how you look or how confidently you carry yourself. What's happening is far deeper. You are radiating energetic coherence, a natural alignment between your inner truth and your external energy. That kind of power speaks before you do. And even though it's silent, it echoes loudly through every space you enter. People feel it without knowing how to name it. Some might grow quiet in your presence, not out of intimidation, but because they feel exposed. Others may lean in, drawn to your centeredness, curious about the calm you carry. Children and animals, untouched by the masks of social conditioning, will recognize your frequency instantly. A dog might rest its head near your feet. A toddler may reach out to touch your hand. That's not coincidence. That's the resonance. They sense the safety and truth in you. You vibrate at a level that only the untainted can recognize without question. Carl Jung believed in the invisible forces shaping human interaction. Though he didn't use the term aura in the mystical sense, his teachings on the unconscious, the shadow self, and the collective psyche all point towards something undeniable. We don't just think and act, we emit. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart, Jung once said. That's what you've done. That's why your energy unsettles some and awakens others. Your light does more than inspire, it reveals. And what it reveals can be uncomfortable for those still hiding in their own shadows. People often misunderstand you. They say you're too intense, too deep, too much. But you're not too much. You're just fully present. You've done the inner work. You've confronted your fears, integrated your wounds, and risen into authenticity. That kind of presence can't be faked, and it definitely can't be ignored. When you walk in with that level of clarity and vibration, others are forced to feel themselves more deeply. That can be beautiful or terrifying, depending on how ready they are to grow. Still, it's not your job to shrink. You weren't born to dim your light, to comfort the eyes of those still adjusting to truth. You were born to shift energy, to move hearts, to carry frequency. And yes, sometimes that means standing alone in a room full of people who don't yet understand why they feel what they feel around you. That's not rejection. That's a transformation in motion. If this resonates with you, leave a comment below and say, "I am not too much. I am exactly enough." 7. You attract deep, soulful conversations naturally. People feel safe around you, often without understanding why. It's not something you say. It's not even something you do. It's something you are. Your aura, the subtle field of emotional and energetic presence surrounding you, naturally draws people in. According to Carl Jung, we are all more than just the conscious mind. We're complex layers of the personal unconscious, collective unconscious, and archetypal energies. When your aura is powerful, aligned, and authentic, it resonates like a silent song that others unconsciously hear and feel. And so, people open up. They tell you things they haven't told anyone else. Strangers find themselves confessing their childhood traumas, heartbreaks, or unspoken dreams, all because your presence gives them permission to be real. But this natural magnetism comes with a challenge. When your energy feels like a sanctuary, people might treat it like a therapy room. They enter with baggage, and without meaning to, they might try to leave it with you. That's when you must remember one of the most important lessons for those with high spiritual energy. You are a mirror, not a sponge. You reflect clarity, but you are not meant to absorb the weight of another's pain. Jung called this the process of individuation, the integration of all aspects of the self, both conscious and unconscious. And when you've walked through the fire of your own healing, others sense that wholeness in you. But their healing journey is still theirs to walk. Holding space is a sacred act. It means you allow another person to express themselves fully, without judgment, without trying to fix, and without interruption. Your aura naturally holds this kind of space because it radiates safety and authenticity. But spiritual wisdom teaches us that we must also protect this space. You don't owe your energy to everyone who seeks it. Being open-hearted does not mean being emotionally available to all. This is where discernment becomes your protection. Just because someone wants to talk doesn't mean they deserve your time. And just because you can help doesn't mean you should. Your presence, whether you realize it or not, is often a trigger for others, not because you're harsh, but because you're deeply real. And in a world where most people wear masks, realness is rare and disarming. Your aura confronts people with their own suppressed truths. It's not just inspiring, it's exposing. That's why some people will avoid you, others will adore you, and a few will misunderstand you. But none of that changes the fact that your energy is medicine for those ready to grow. Still, it is not your duty to carry the emotional wounds that others refuse to heal. You are a catalyst. You initiate shifts in others just by being in the room. That's why boundaries are not only necessary, they're sacred. When you don't set them, you become drained, resentful, and disconnected from your own source of power. When you do, you stay aligned, grounded, and capable of offering real transformation to those who are ready. There's an old saying, don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. That applies here more than ever. You don't need to dim your light, but you do need to honor the space where your light shines best. Carl Jung's wisdom reminds us that the psyche isn't something to be cured, it's something to be understood. When you begin to understand why people come to you, why they cry in your presence, or why they say, "I've never told anyone this before," you'll see that it's your aura doing the work. And with that understanding comes responsibility. You must choose when to open your energy and when to shield it, when to listen deeply and when to step away. It is not selfish. It is spiritual hygiene. So next time someone tells you their life story, within minutes of meeting you, smile gently and know that you didn't do anything wrong. In fact, you did something very right. You became a space where truth could finally breathe. If this resonates with you, type in the comments, "I am the mirror, not the sponge." And remember that your aura is not a weakness to control, it's a force to honor. 8. You repel shallow or performative people. Your presence doesn't just speak, it reveals. When your aura carries the frequency of truth, it becomes impossible for shallow or performative people to remain comfortable around you. It's not about confrontation, it's about contrast. Your energy silently calls out what is false. Those who depend on performance, status, Gossip or external validation often feel exposed in your presence, not because you're judging them, but because your authenticity stands in stark opposition to their pretense. People living behind masks sense something unsettling when you're near. It's as if your energy pulls at the very seams of their illusion. Carl Jung understood this dynamic well. His work revealed that the unconscious reacts powerfully to what it has repressed. So when someone like you, embodying integrity, depth, and spiritual clarity, enters their space, it forces the unconscious shadow to rise. This confrontation often results in avoidance, resentment, or passive aggression. But the issue isn't you. It's what your aura awakens in them. In today's world, where curated personas dominate social media and surface-level interaction is the norm, people who embody spiritual presence are disruptive in the best way. You don't conform to scripts. You don't pretend to be fine when you're not. You don't participate in gossip just to feel included. Your refusal to play the game makes those still stuck in the game nervous, and that's okay. Think of a time at work or among friends when you spoke from the heart, without embellishment, and felt the room change. Maybe people got quiet. Maybe someone changed the subject. That discomfort wasn't because you overstepped. It was because you were real in a space that was accustomed to performance. Powerful energy always brings clarity, and clarity often feels like exposure to those who are hiding. Still, this isn't a curse. It's a spiritual gift. Your energy acts as a mirror. Not everyone is ready to look, but those who are will be transformed by what they see in you. While others might withdraw, the ones who stay, those who resonate with depth, growth, and truth, will find in you a kindred soul. You don't attract crowds, you attract soul tribes. You don't build noise, you build resonance. So, if you felt isolated, misjudged, or avoided for simply being yourself, take heart. Your aura is doing what it's meant to do. Protect your peace, refine your environment, and elevate those around you. You are not here to be liked by everyone. You are here to awaken what is real. And sometimes, that means walking through life with fewer companions, but deeper connections. Leave your like and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom. And if this resonates with you, comment below. I walk in truth. Let's continue to raise our frequency and reflect the light that calls others home. 9. Others feel drained or energized by your presence. Some people feel uplifted and comforted around you, as if your presence brings a sense of calm, hope, and renewal they didn't know they needed. Others, however, may grow uneasy, irritated, or even emotionally drained just by being near you. This isn't about your words, behavior, or attitude. It's about the silent power of your aura. Your energy doesn't just walk into a room, it radiates. And when it's deeply aligned, authentic, and spiritually charged, it can either heal or disturb, depending on what others are carrying within themselves. Carl Jung's work reminds us that we are not just thinking beings. We are fields of influence, radiating unconscious energy that interacts with the world in ways we barely notice. A powerful aura, then, is not just a mystical idea, it's a psychological reality. It's the invisible force that either awakens others or reveals what they've been avoiding. This is why your light can be both a beacon and a mirror. To those who are open, it's inspiring. To those who are unhealed, it's confronting. That's why some people are drawn to you like a safe harbor. They feel seen, accepted, and energized in your company. They might even say things like, "I don't know why, but I feel better when I talk to you." These are the moments when your aura is acting as a natural healer, restoring balance and raising the emotional tone of those around you without any conscious effort. But this gift comes with a lesson. Not everyone is capable of receiving your energy in a healthy way. There are people who, whether they realize it or not, come into your space not to connect, but to consume. They feel lost in their own energy, and when they sense your radiance, they cling to it. These individuals may leave you feeling tired, emotionally heavy, or inexplicably anxious. They're not bad people, they're just energetically hungry. But you must remember, your energy is not theirs to feed on. You are not required to dim your light to accommodate their shadows. Learning to protect your energy is not selfish, it's sacred. Discernment becomes your spiritual compass. Pay attention to how you feel after each interaction. Do you feel expanded, empowered, and recharged? Or do you feel like something was taken from you? The answers lie not in logic, but in sensation. Your aura responds before your mind can rationalize. Trust that. In the chaos of modern life, where emotional and spiritual noise is everywhere, from crowded workplaces to digital spaces, you must become the guardian of your own frequency. Your presence is powerful, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. And the world doesn't always know what to do with someone so rare, so real, and so radiant. This is not a burden. It's a calling. If this message resonates with you, comment "awesome" below, so we know we're not alone in this experience. Your voice matters. Your light matters. And the more you understand it, the more you can use it with wisdom and purpose. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom, and tap the bell so you never miss a message designed to elevate your soul. 10. Toxic people are drawn to your light. Toxic people are drawn to your light not because you are weak, but because you are whole in a way they are not. Narcissists, manipulators, and emotionally unwell individuals are often magnetized to powerful auras, those who radiate clarity, kindness, and self-possession. Your energy becomes a mirror, reflecting back to them everything they have not yet healed. Rather than being inspired by your wholeness, they attempt to feed on it. They subconsciously crave the peace and authenticity you embody, but instead of growing into that energy, they seek to drain it from you. This is not admiration, it's energetic consumption masked as connection. Your light acts as a beacon in a dark world, and that glow can trigger the unhealed wounds of others. Carl Jung understood this deeply when he said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." The problem is not that your light is too much, but that their darkness is not yet owned. Your aura exposes their unresolved emotions, and rather than face their shadows, they cling to you hoping your warmth will silence the chaos inside them. But light is not meant to be used. It is meant to be honored. That's why boundaries are sacred. Without them, your energy becomes open territory for anyone who feels entitled to your peace. Boundaries are not walls that block love. They are filters that protect it. You must be willing to say no without guilt, to walk away without fear, and to let go of people who mistake your presence for a healing center they can exploit. You were not created to constantly fix others at the expense of your own nervous system. Your job is not to rescue everyone who feels broken. Your responsibility is to stay rooted in your own growth, no matter who misunderstands it. When someone's connection to you feels like constant crisis, guilt-tripping, or emotional chaos, it is not connection, it is energetic consumption. Your time, your peace, your presence, these are sacred. They are not up for negotiation with those who refuse to take accountability for their own healing. Your aura is powerful because it has been built through pain, reflection, and transformation. You are not responsible for those who choose not to do that same work. Every time you set a boundary, you honor your evolution. Every time you walk away from manipulation, you affirm your self-worth. Every time you say, "This is not for me," you strengthen your energetic field. And that power will always attract those who want to dim it, not because they hate you, but because your light reminds them of how far they've yet to go. So be kind, but be firm. Be open, but stay wise. Not everyone who wants your energy deserves access to it. Protect your light not out of fear, but out of reverence for the work you've done to shine. And if this message speaks to something you felt but never said out loud, type in the comments, "I protect my light." Let's create a space where powerful souls like you are no longer drained, but empowered. 11. Animals and children are naturally drawn to you. Children and animals don't respond to status, words, or appearances. They respond to energy. If they seem magnetically drawn to you, it's not by chance. It's because your aura emits a kind of purity that speaks directly to their instincts. In Carl Jung's work, this essence is reflected in the archetype of the divine child, a symbol of spiritual innocence, authenticity, and soul-connected awareness. When your energy is aligned, nurturing, and clear of egoic noise, it resonates with beings who still live close to their intuitive core. That's why a baby might stop crying in your arms, or a stray dog may approach you without fear. You radiate something that feels safe, honest, and whole. This isn't about trying to be gentle or kind. It's about simply being who you are at your core. Your presence is not filtered through manipulation or self-image. It's raw, grounded, and transparent. Those with the clearest auras often don't even realize how deeply their energy affects the world around them. It just happens. People calm down. Tension dissolves. Even chaos seems to hush itself in your presence. You may walk through life wondering why children choose you, why pets come alive when you're near, or why strangers feel compelled to open up. It's because your aura holds space. It doesn't judge. It simply exists in its truth, and that truth disarms anything artificial. One woman shared that every time she visited a new home for her healing work, the dogs who were usually protective would instantly become quiet, and the toddlers, who were known to be shy, would run toward her. It wasn't what she said or did. It was her field of energy, calm, integrated, and safe. People who carry this type of energetic frequency don't often realize the spiritual responsibility they hold. Their presence heals without performance. Their silence speaks volumes. Their stillness transmits peace. Carl Jung might not have used the word aura in the mystical sense, but his understanding of the psyche and the collective unconscious points to something deeper. Each of us carries an energetic blueprint that others feel, even if they can't name it. Your aura is like a soul signature, and when it's strong and aligned, it becomes both a mirror and a magnet. It reflects others' unhealed wounds and also draws in those who are seeking light. This is why some people will love you instantly, while others feel oddly uncomfortable around you. You're not doing anything wrong. Your presence just speaks a truth that not everyone is ready to hear. In a world conditioned to respond to noise, you speak in vibration. And those who are attuned to children, animals, the deeply intuitive will always find their way to you. Let this be your reminder that your light is not invisible. It is felt, it is needed, and it is divine. The gentleness of your aura is not weakness, it's wisdom. It took pain to create that peace. It took silence to amplify your soul's voice. And the lesson here? Protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Maintain your alignment, not for validation, but for integrity. Let the presence of children and animals be your confirmation. Your aura speaks before you do. Comment below, "My energy speaks before I do." And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom for more content that awakens the truth already living inside you. 12. You radiate spiritual grounding and emotional neutrality. You remain calm while others panic. When tension rises, you don't feed it, you transmute it. You don't react impulsively. You respond with clarity and grace. This isn't because you're detached or emotionally numb. It's because you've done the inner work. You've met your shadows, faced your chaos, and found stillness on the other side. What people misunderstand as indifference is, in truth, a rare form of emotional intelligence, one that speaks of spiritual grounding and deep integration of your inner self. In a world addicted to chaos, your peace is disruptive. People who are used to emotional extremes can't quite grasp how you stay centered. Your presence doesn't match the noise, and so it unsettles them. But you're not here to match the noise. You're here to be the silence that reminds others of what they've forgotten: inner stability. Your emotional neutrality doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you've learned not to be ruled by every passing wave. Like a tree with roots that run deep, you are unshaken, even as storms rage around you. Carl Jung believed that our outer reactions are a reflection of our unconscious mind. When people are around you, your calm aura activates something deep within them. It's not your fault they feel off balance. It's your presence revealing what still needs healing. You've become a mirror, not by choice, but by energy. That mirror reflects their lack of inner peace, their unresolved wounds, and their resistance to stillness. And so, they label you too serious, too cold, too distant. But the truth is, you are simply too real. You've chosen to walk in awareness. You've chosen self-control over impulsiveness, grounding over reaction. You've stopped needing to prove anything, and your energy no longer clings or demands. It simply exists, powerfully and quietly. This is why your aura carries weight. It holds the truth. And truth is heavy for those still hiding behind illusions. Your silence doesn't mean absence. It means presence. It means you are so attuned to your own energy that you no longer lose yourself in others. You hold space. You observe. You protect your peace because you've learned it's sacred. And that kind of peace, the kind that radiates without needing validation, is magnetic, but not always welcome by those still attached to noise. If someone has ever made you feel strange for not reacting, for staying calm, for simply being grounded, remember, it's not about you. It's about the discomfort they feel when they can't pull you into their storm. Your neutrality is not emptiness. It is spiritual fullness. It is a sign that you are no longer controlled by the external world, but instead guided by your inner one. Leave a comment below if this speaks to your journey. Say, "I choose inner peace over chaos." 13. You don't seek external approval, and that threatens the system. In a society where conformity is currency and approval is often mistaken for love, not needing validation is seen as rebellion. You've made peace with yourself, and in doing so, you've stepped outside the invisible prison that holds so many captive. While others bend and shift to meet expectations, you remain rooted, unmoved, authentic. Your aura doesn't ask for permission, it declares. And what it declares is unsettling to those who still live for applause. I am not for sale. This silent power radiates from you without effort. It isn't arrogance, it's wholeness. You're not trying to be different, you simply are. When you walk into a room, you don't shrink to fit into it. The room recalibrates to your frequency. Some will admire you, yes, but others may feel threatened. Not because you've harmed them, but because your presence exposes what they haven't yet claimed in themselves. Jung understood this paradox. He taught that individuation, the process of becoming fully yourself, often alienates before it liberates. That's the cost of true selfhood. That's the signature of a powerful aura. You don't adapt your truth to make others comfortable. You don't compromise your essence for inclusion. And you don't dilute your spirit to become more palatable. You know that peace doesn't come from being liked. It comes from being aligned. That inner alignment creates an energy that can't be faked, bought, or imitated, and people feel it. Sometimes, without knowing why, they withdraw. Other times, they project. They might label you aloof, intense, or intimidating. But that's not your burden to carry. Their reaction is not your responsibility. It's their unresolved fear meeting your unapologetic light. You've broken the mold, and that's why you can't be molded. You're not playing a role anymore. You're living your truth. And truth has a vibration. It disrupts lies, shatters illusions, and reveals where others are still hiding. This isn't just spiritual talk, it's psychological reality. When someone has integrated their shadow, as Jung would say, they stop projecting it onto others. But those who haven't done that inner work, they'll often react to you as if you are the problem, simply because your presence reminds them of what they haven't yet owned. You've become immune to emotional manipulation because you no longer need to be liked to feel worthy. That kind of energetic independence breaks systems that rely on fear, scarcity, and approval. You've become uncontrollable, not because you're wild, but because you're whole. And wholeness is rare. It's disruptive. It's magnetic. If you feel this truth in your soul, comment, "I am not for sale" below, and let others know that your light cannot be dimmed to make others feel safe in their shadows. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Carl Jung's wisdom and the powerful signs of a radiant aura. If this message resonated with you, or if you've ever felt misunderstood because of your energy, know that you're not alone, and your light is needed now more than ever. If you found value in today's video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom for more insights on energy, awakening, and transformation. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos that help you step fully into your power. Until next time, honor your energy, embrace your light, and keep shining.